In the headlines, Army dismisses 2 soldiers over murder of Yobe cleric. 2 people confirmed dead, 5 rescued in Abuja building collapse. Relief as Central Bank of Nigeria releases $265 million trapped funds to foreign airlines. And on the foreign scene, clashes between rival armed groups erupt in Libyan capital Tripoli. Hello and welcome to News Update on Trust Television. I am Nten Ekpang. Residents of Kubwa, a satellite town in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, were thrown into a panic after a 2-story building collapsed, killing 1 person and leaving workers trapped. The building, which was under construction, collapsed at Hamza Abdullahi Street off Gado Nasco Road. In a statement, the spokesperson of the agency, Manzo Ezekiel, said that NEMA was alerted about the incident about 1 a.m. and immediately mobilized first responders, including FCT Emergency Management Agency, Fire Service, Civil Defense Corps, and the police to the site. The Director General of the FCT Emergency Management Agency, Fema Abbas Idris, announced on Friday that 2 persons that were trapped in the collapsed building in Kubwa, a suburb of Abuja, have died. Idris said the rescue operations at the collapse site came to an end with 5 persons rescued alive, 3 with various degrees of injuries, while 2 persons were unhurt. Meanwhile, the Minister of State FCT, Ramatu Tijani, has commiserated with families affected by the Kubwa building collapse. Into our leading story, the Nigerian Army has dismissed 2 soldiers over the murder of an Islamic cleric, Sheikh Goni Gashua, in Yobe State. The dismissed soldiers include Lance Corporal John Gabriel and Lance Corporal Adamo Gideon. The acting commanding officer in charge of 241 Reserve Battalion Nguru in Yobe State, Lieutenant Colonel Ibrahim Musabu, told journalists that a board of inquiry set up in collaboration with the police had found them guilty. He said 2 soldiers were dismissed on the count of indiscipline and not doing their job. Lieutenant Colonel Osabo added that the dismissed soldiers will be handed over to the police in Damaturu for prosecution in court. Women lawyers in Nigeria, under the umbrella of the International Federation of Women Lawyers, FIDA, have called on the National Assembly to pass the Gender Equality Bill and end cultural biases against women. FIDA National President Amina Susanna Agbaji stated this at the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs program organized by the International Federation of Women Lawyers under the Nigerian Bar Association with the theme Repressive Cultural and Religious Norms Against Women and Children, Bold Transitions from Rhetorics to Action. Agbaje condemned repressive cultural and religious norms against women and children. She also speaking the immediate past, FIDA Nigeria Vice President Rhoda Tyoden said passing the bill will give women leverage to achieve more and called on NAS to expedite action on the bill.
They kind of hinge their argument on cultural factors and religious factors. There is a case that a woman can never be equal with a man, that a man is supposed to be on top, that women should be placed where they are supposed to be. So that's cultural, and some say that under their religion, that women can never be at par with men. So based on that frivolous and flippant reason, the CEDAW was thrown out. So other countries have domesticated FIDA, but we ratified it over 37 years ago, and we are finding it difficult to domesticate.
The theme for the NBA conference is Bold Transition. And for FIDA, it is apt because we have been talking a lot about the issues that are affecting the advancement of women and children, and that is why you've seen it here, repressive cultural and religious norms that affect the lives of women and children. So what is the next step? FIDA Nigeria has been in this for over 60 years, and we have been talking the talk. We pushed for the passage of laws that are gender sensitive. We've pushed for child's right law. Many states have adopted it. Many states have adopted the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act. Now, we've been talking about all these issues. Those issues exist. So what is the way forward?
Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike says his team is more interested in a better Nigeria, and as such, they will consult widely with those who mean well for the country. Governor Wike spoke when he interacted with journalists at the airport of Port Harcourt in Ikwere local government area shortly on arrival from London. Governor Wike, who confirmed their meetings with the presidential candidate of the PDP, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, that of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and that of Labour Party Peter Obi, as well as former President of Nigeria Olusegun Obasanjo in London, explained that topmost on the agenda is how to make Nigeria better than what it is currently. Leader of the team and Benue State Governor Samuel Atom noted that they have met with renowned persons in the last few days because of their belief that Nigeria is in distress and required a concerted effort to rescue it. Abia State Governor Okezie Ikpeazu emphasized that they are on a mission and are determined to find a way of rescuing Nigeria.
And of All Progressive Congress, we met with our leader, former president of Nigeria, Chief Obasanjo, and the presidential candidate of the Labour Party. We also met with our own presidential candidate, and now I can say confirm this is the first time as a team we are meeting with the presidential candidate, so you can see all those rumors and this and that.
For us, we are looking at the larger picture. Nigeria today is in distress. What can we do? No man or woman alone can get it right for our country. We are looking at how we can harness ideas and put ourselves together to ensure that we get out of the present challenge we are in Nigeria today.
We must find a way to rescue our country, not only for this generation, but for our children and grandchildren. And this is a country with great potential, and we have people everywhere. And we think that it's important we engage across board. We're also looking at speaking with civil society organizations and those who have ideas, Nigerians in the diaspora. All the resources are available in this country. It has to come together at this time to see how best we can move forward.
The federal government has expressed determination that in no distant time, the limited areas of border disagreement between Nigeria and Cameroon will be resolved amicably. The leader of the Nigerian delegation and Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, SAN, made this known at the 34th session of the Cameroon-Nigeria Mixed Commission, CNMC, held between 25th and 26th of August 2022 in Abuja. A statement from the Special Assistant on Media and Public Relations, Office of the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Umar Jibrilu, said both countries at the session showed commitment to work closely with parties to identify and encourage the implementation of trans-border infrastructural projects to enhance economic cooperation and the integration of the two countries and the West African region. A communique issued at the end of the session noted that the parties involved did not have same understanding of the International Court of Justice's judgment on the course of the boundary on localities of Rumski, Pila 8, and Koja. The Mixed Commission agreed to table discussions on the matter to the ICJ for clarification of its decision. You're watching Trust TV News Update, coming up after the break. Unavailability of the Naira notes. Please stay with us.
To every politician, as the campaigns gain momentum and passions begin to rise, remember, the errors of your opponents do not make you a success. Do not run down your opponent. and inflame passions to violence between and among your supporters. What counts is what you plan to do for the electorate and how you intend to relieve the sufferings and bring succor. Nigeria is in dire need of patriotic leaders at all levels, leaders who will make national development their priority. Concentrate on telling the electorate what you intend to do when you get into office. Focus on making your vision clear to the electorate. Don't engage in verbal abuses, fake news or speeches. Keep dealing with issues that will bring progress. You win the hearts and minds of the people by being above board, by being civil, patriotic, and showing empathy. Let's join hands to make the 2023 elections peaceful. A message from the National Orientation Agency.
Welcome back to Trust TV News Update, and now the rest of the news. The importance of immunization to eradicate vaccine-preventable diseases across every part of the country in order to achieve a healthy immunity among eligible population has again been reiterated. This was addressed by the Federal Ministry of Health through the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency at the Immunization Performance Assessment and Recognition as part of activities to wrap up the African Vaccination Week. Trust TV's Aisha Salihu reports.
In recognition and promotion of current vaccination efforts in the country to boost morale and improve performance while creating awareness of the value of vaccines and immunization and highlighting the actions required to counter vaccine-preventable diseases, the Federal Ministry of Health, through the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, awards Outstanding State on improved immunization performances.
Today, we're going to be recognizing 15 states out of 36 plus 1 states that could have been chosen. Personally, we're invested in getting local government chairmen, traditional and religious leaders to mobilize people towards taking vaccinations against COVID-19, but also childhood immunizations.
I want to call on those who will be receiving awards today to see it as an appreciation for a job well done and also as motivation for greater performance. As it is said, the reward for hard work is more work.
Okay, Nasarawa State and Kano State ranked the highest from the indicators out of the 15 other states of the 6 geopolitical zones selected in the categories of coverage in routine immunization, COVID-19 vaccination, among others.
Imagine the number of children that were infected during that problem period. We assure you, we'll continue using technology in order to enhance routine immunization and also fight COVID-19, working with development partners.
You say in the whole of Nigeria, we only had about 3 centers that could even test COVID-19. Today, even in Nasarawa State, you have over 5 centers that could test COVID-19.
In his remarks, the Minister of Health, Ehanire Osage, says in spite of the tremendous success Nigeria has achieved in immunization and vaccination over the years, every stakeholder must continue to put in more work.
With the integration of other PHC services into the COVID-19 vaccination, it's clear that our task is not limited to eradicating COVID-19 only, but also all other vaccine-preventable diseases. In line with the integration strategy, parents who go for COVID-19 vaccination are encouraged. As a matter of fact, they are requested to go with their children and have children also vaccinated against childhood diseases.
The African Vaccination Week celebration symbolizes the country's efforts at eradicating preventable diseases over the years and harping on the need to continue the struggle through innovative strategies to safeguard the health of Nigerians. Aisha Salihu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Scarcity of the lower denomination of the Naira is a daily experience many Nigerians have learned to live with. The Nigerian Naira, such as the coins 5 Naira, 10, 20, 50 and 100 Naira, are gradually disappearing, leaving many Nigerians with fewer options for transactions. How is the scarcity of the lower denomination of the Naira affecting the economy? Let's find out more in this report.
No change. Hold your change. These are familiar phrases that many Nigerians have come to terms with as it pertains payments for goods and services. Business owners and customers alike have at one point or the other had to either pay more, forfeit their money, or walk away from transactions. For Clara Onyechi, the scarcity of lower denomination of the Naira has led to losses in her business.
Affect because sometimes we have to let some people go with our 100 Naira, 50 Naira, you understand, saying that maybe when they come next time, they bring it for us, you understand. Some of them, you might not see them again, and some of them you might get to forget, or when they come back, when you ask, it become like something like an embarrassing them or something like that. So all those things.
In 2007, the Central Bank of Nigeria, under the then Governor Sanusi Lamido, reissued and rebranded the Nigerian Naira of all denominations, hoping to revive the economy. Some Nigerians rejected the coins, partly due to the high prices of goods, as one hardly finds the use for the coins. It appears the same is happening with the lower denomination of the Naira notes.
If there is no change, definitely I will collect the 1,000 Naira, get something else, and give him the balance, or I will leave that in that I want to buy.
In rare occasions, point-of-sale operators, POS, who are now dominant players in dispensing cash, could have few notes of lower denomination, but they depend on the ATMs.
So I'm in front of one of the commercial banks here in the Federal Capital Territory, and I want to see if I can withdraw a 500 Naira note from the ATM machine.
Let's see what we get. Yeah. It says invalid amount. Enter the amount in multiples of 1,000 Naira.
It's very obvious that the CBN is not producing enough, it's not manufacturing enough of those lower denomination notes to meet the demand. What you should be buying for 270 naira, you end up buying it 300.
With the scarcity of the lower naira note, black marketers are making brisk business, hawking the notes for willing buyers. Here, a wrap of 10,000 naira in 100 naira notes goes for as much as 15,000 naira, making 5,000 naira gain for the black marketers. We paid an extra 1,000 naira for 100 pieces of 10 naira. Although hawking the naira is a punishable offense under the CBN Act, places like this are found in many parts of the country. In October 2021, the Central Bank of Nigeria unveiled the e-naira, hoping to reduce the circulation of physical naira notes, which is expected to reduce the cost of printing the naira notes. But with more than half of Nigeria's population financially excluded from the formal sector, the scarcity of the lower denomination of the naira will continue to add burden on the expenses of Nigerians. Ayuba Ilya, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And in business, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has released the sum of $265 million to airlines operating in the country to settle outstanding ticket sales in an apparent move to check a brewing crisis in the country's aviation sector. A breakdown of the figure released on Friday indicates that the sum of $230 million was given as special forex intervention, while another sum of $35 million was released through the retail SMIS auction. Confirming the release, Director of Corporate Communications Department at the CBN, Osita Nwaniobi, said the CBN Governor, Godwin Emefiele, and his team were concerned about the development and what it portends for the sector and travelers as well as the country in the Committee of Nations. With Friday's release, it is expected that operators and travelers as well as others will heave a sigh of relief, as some airlines have threatened to withdraw their services in the face of unremitted funds for the outstanding sale of tickets. Nigeria's gross domestic product, the GDP, has grown by 3.54% year-on-year in real terms in the second quarter of 2022, a report by the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, has shown. The report stated that the growth rate is, however, a decline of 1.47% from the 5.01% recorded in the same period in 2021. The NBS stated that the high growth in 2021 was as a result of the rapid growth recorded following the toll the COVID-19 had on the economy in the second quarter of 2020. It added that the aggregate GDP stood at 45 trillion naira in nominal terms, and the performance is higher when compared to the second quarter of 2021, which recorded aggregate GDP of 39.1 trillion naira. The nominal GDP growth rate in the second quarter of 2022 was higher relative to the 14.99% growth recorded, while non-oil sector contributed 93.67% to the economy. We'll take a short break. More news when we return. Please stay with us. documenting the Nigerian story. Welcome back, and let's go to the concluding stories in the bulletin now. And we begin on the foreign scene, where clashes have erupted between rival Libyan militias in the center of Tripoli, with the sound of gunfire echoing through the heavily populated part of the capital city and threatening 2 years of relative peace following a ceasefire deal. The violence early on Saturday comes in the wake of a build-up of rival forces in Tripoli over the past week, who are jostling for power as the North African country remains divided between rival administrations in the east and the west. The country's democratic transition was delayed after the presidential elections scheduled for last December were postponed indefinitely. Tensions have risen after Fathi Bashagha, backed by the East-based parliament, was sworn in as Prime Minister in February amid calls for Prime Minister Abdul Hamid Debay, the head of the transitional government based in Tripoli, to cede power. And for some sports news now. Okay, still on the foreign scene, the United Nations has condemned an air raid that hit a kindergarten in Ethiopia's northern Tigray region, killing at least 4 people, including 2 children. UNICEF Chief Executive Director Catherine Russell made the body's decision known on Twitter on Friday. The federal government in that country denied the allegation, saying the Air Force only targeted military sites and accused Tigray's People's Liberation Front, the TPLF, of staging civilian deaths. Tigrayan officials called the airstrike a heartless, sadistic assault. Tigray television, controlled by the regional authorities, said the attack in Mekelle happened at about 9:40 GMT on Friday and blamed it on the federal government. In sports, Nigeria's Tobi Amosun on Friday finished second in the women's 100 meters hurdles at the Atletissima Diamond League meeting in Lausanne, Switzerland. The world champion and world record holder was beaten to the first spot by Puerto Rico's Jasmine Camacho Quinn, who ran a record time of 12:34 seconds. Amosun had to settle for silver with a time of 12.45 seconds, while United States' Tia Jones finished third with a personal best of 12:47 seconds. The hurdles marked Amosun's return to the track after she broke the world record in July by clocking 12.12 seconds in the semi-finals of the World Championship in Eugene, Oregon, before further extending to the record when she won the final in 12:06 seconds. And with that story, we come to the end of News Update this hour. You can contact us via our social media platforms for more news. I am Nten Ekpang. Many thanks for watching.